So what is visual culture? Well, very broadly speaking, we tend to use the term in two different ways. We sometimes use visual culture in a specific sense to characterize a particular historical period or a geographical location, like the visual culture of the Renaissance or the visual culture of revolutionary France, for example, in which case we're referring to the visual objects and practices produced in that specific time period. That includes everything from art and architecture to theater, fashion, and the organization of public spaces. If it's seen and was made to be seen, then it's considered to be part of that particular visual culture, part of the way that that culture expresses itself and communicates through visual means. But the term visual culture is also used in a broader sense to refer to what Alexis Boylan calls our visual environment, the sum total of the visual objects that surround us and the ways in which those can shape our identities, influence our beliefs, and ultimately compel us to communicate visually using the codes and symbolic languages that are shared by the individuals within a particular cultural group. So the term visual culture refers to our visual environment, to the advertising, films, and television shows that we watch, every photograph, painting, and building that's ever been made, and even to things that can't be seen by the human eye but can be visualized using technologies, entering those things into our public discourse and our shared cultural lexicon. And in studying all of this, the term visual culture implies an emphasis on how visual objects communicate and are interpreted within a given culture, as well as the ways in which those visual objects convey power and ideology, shaping our cultural beliefs. Now, why is understanding visual culture important? Well, one of the core concepts in visual culture studies is media convergence, the idea that the images produced by different forms of media are increasingly interconnected, with art, advertising, science communication, news, and entertainment becoming more and more interrelated and cross-referential. That makes it increasingly difficult for scholars working within a single discipline, like art, history, or film studies, for example, to situate the production, reception, and interpretation of visual texts in a holistic context. And media convergence is not just changing the way that our visual culture looks, but it's also changing us as consumers of media. And the critical approach offered by visual culture studies provides an interdisciplinary toolset and emergent theoretical vocabulary that, in my opinion, is indispensable to students studying visual media in the 21st century. If you're interested in learning more, you'll find a few links in the video description to credible university programs, as well as a brief history of the term visual culture and some of my recommendations for introductory texts. If you'd like a full reading list, though, you can head on over to our Patreon page, where we publish our scripts, comprehensive reading lists, and offer other additional content. And while you're there, consider supporting the channel by becoming one of our backers. And as always, whatever you do, never stop learning.